Let's see. We got about 10 more minutes. Oh, we got a question from Robert.
Yes, I wanted to go over this one with you.
Okay. I hold one plot of land. If I open it and get a common, and I'm going to lose a bunch of money, am I going to lose a bunch of money, or will land be valuable?
Because we
Ooh,
talked about this the other day.
yeah, yeah. I have 100 plots of land, and I'm asking myself the same question, Robert. I'm asking myself the exact same question because 100 plots of land is like 50 or 60 or 70 grand. And
Yeah, it's about 60K.
is that, yeah, there it is, 615 per plot. Now, mind you, it might be hard to, if I listed 100, it might not sell. And actually, I'd have to sell it on the tract. Like, there's just not enough liquidity. Like, so if I went in here, I'd have to look up tract.
It
There's,
hasn't sold since September 2nd.
but if I did put my tract in here and I listed it for $60,000, I feel like there's a decent probability it would sell. And I might have to wait a month, but I feel like there's a decent probability it would sell. And to Robert's point, like, that's a lot of money. Like, even for, whether in his case it's one plot, but still $600 is a lot of money. And you could take that and you could do a ton of things with it. Like we talked about earlier, those gold foil legendaries. Or what about if you just bought a bunch of inexpensive reward cards or inexpensive chaos cards? You could begin to really build your deck and really position yourself in an awesome way for the new Modern League and the Wild League. Because remember, modern cards can play in the Wild. And so if you build an effective deck that can compete in Modern at a high level, and we don't yet know what the threshold for power will be for every league, but presumably it'll be a little lower than what we're dealing with in the Wild. And so if you kind of shoot for like 50 or 60,000 power, you're probably going to be, close to gold, I would think. Um, and and then I think you're going to be in the silver, like a high silver range, in the Wild. And that's like a good deck. And I think that opportunity is right in front of you right now for like a $600 type investment. Um, and so you've got a plot of land. What else could you do with that? What else could that money go for? And yes, I think to, kind of cut through the, you know, cut to the core of the issue. I think if you open it and you find that you got a common land plot with, no, there's all kinds of modifiers. There's like buildings you can have. There's different resources you can have. There's a different rarity. So first of all, there's the rarity: common, rare, epic, legendary. That's one modifier. Then there's the type of resource it produces. Common resources such as wood is like, those are unimpressive. Those are like the least. Then there's, I think, magic, and I think souls. I think those are the two categories. But there's two special categories that are necessary to produce items. And so if you, those are the modifiers, the first modifiers, but then there's also buildings that you can have, and you can have totems or something. And I don't even really understand the totems. But the point is, you could draw a huge home run, or you could get really an underwhelming deck. In the same way that if you open a Chaos Legion pack right now, you can get one rare and four commons, and that's it. That's, I think it's 40 collection power. But if you open a different like Chaos Legion pack, you might get two legendaries or one gold foil legendary, and that's a huge boom for you. So for me, what I think is one plot of land is a lottery ticket, and it might be a home run, but it probably won't be. 100 plots of land is a bit more of a promise, because I actually know for a fact one of my plots of land will have a keep on it. That's one of those modifiers that can increase the productivity of the land. So I feel confident that, generally speaking, my tract of land is going to produce some exciting financial big wins. And if you were lucky enough to have the region of land like that, to me is like a slam dunk. That's going to happen. It's going to be a layup. You're going to get some of these crazy plots of land that everybody's going to be drooling over. So you also could with one plot, but I kind of think if I only had one plot, I kind of think I might sell that and deploy it. But I want to say that with a huge grain of salt because I feel so strongly that land is going to be a huge home run. And here you have one plot of it, whereas most people have none. And most of the future players will never, never, never own land. So you are exceptionally, you're in the in group, and I think those resources are going to be meaningful. And I think it might be game changing to have access to resources such as items and spells, because we know that the items and spells are going to change how you win the game, because they're going to introduce an ability for you to turn a defeat into a victory. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, the way the land is going to work, it's going to produce resources, and those resources are going to be turned into potions and spells, or items and spells. And those are going to be used by you and me in the battle. You'll come into Splinterlands and you'll fight a battle. And when the battle, you'll go in and you'll load up your team, and you get that 2 minutes to pick your team. And then this will happen. The screen will load. And it'll say up here, Infidel 1258 versus Monster Grinder. And then you'll see the battlefield like this. Right here, this is the battlefield. And then you'll have a chance to drop an item or a spell before the battle begins. And so you can turn the tides of defeat into victory. And so I'm convinced that items and spells are going to be game changing for the strategy and the meta of how this game plays. So much so that I think land is going to be deeply meaningful and super expensive, even way more than it is now. But in the short term, I definitely think if you open a plot of land and it's a common with no real special modifiers, it's going to be a huge financial loss for the short term. And I would think if the trajectory of this game keeps going where I expect it to, I would think that all land will be extremely expensive. That's my view. And I think several $1,000s for a legendary plot wouldn't surprise me. Even tens of thousands of dollars in a few years as we move into the next bull run. That's kind of where I'm at. Now, what does that mean for commons? I wouldn't be surprised if commons were sold for like a couple $100. So that would be a pretty big loss. That's my thinking on that. Jim, what do you think, man?
When it came to me and we were talking about this, you know, I like to know how much money I can get back on my investment at, you know, certain time frames. You know, the normal thing is like in a year. Okay, how much is this land going to give me? As of right now, we have no idea. Whether it's a good land or a common land or legendary, whatever it is, we have no idea other than what the SPS airdrop is giving you right now.
Yeah.
So if it, you know, even, you know, we go down the line. Well, I've had a few friends of mine or people in the guild and be like, oh, well, are you going to get land? It's relatively cheap for you. And I'm like, you know, I don't want to dip my toe into the land stuff until I know what it is and what it can get me. I would rather pay, you know, $1,000 for a plot of land that I know I can make back in a year rather than having this pack and not knowing anything about it. But that's just me.
Yeah, I want to say that again, Jim. I want to go around that topic one more time with you on, because I think what you said there is really, really concise and important for people to hear. The idea is that you know the price of good land will be more than $600-700, or you feel that that's probable. However, you're willing to pay that extra premium when that time comes, because you'll feel at that moment that it is it is more proven, it's more justifiable, it's more, is that fair? Is that what you're thinking there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. I think that makes perfect sense. Um, and I'm not buying any more land at this point. That to take my answer one step further for Robert's sake and for anybody listening, I am pumped about land, but I am not buying any more land at these rates, at these prices. I simply I just can't justify it. I mean, there's too many assets that are still at their cheapest possible price, like Chaos Legion packs. They're at $4, and that's as cheap as they could conceivably be. So, if you want to find a deal in this space, even if land goes up to, let's say, 10x to like $6,000 a plot, which is possible, um, that's great. But I've showed you time and time again that certain cards are going to be a penny, and then they're going to be $3.20, like I told you about Gelatinous Cube, or I've showed you so many of my cards over the years that have done that. And some people don't believe that's going to happen again. But I am convinced it's going to happen again. So much so that I bought $18,000 worth of packs. No, I bought $24,000 worth of packs in pre-sale because I had to buy vouchers for $20 a pop. And then I bought another $18,000. And now I'm going to muster up 900 vouchers somehow, which is 900 vouchers times $3 or $4, because I want more packs. And so when I answer a question like Robert's, it's like, land is going to be awesome. You should really have some land. But the problem is, if you only had one plot, I become a little bit less excited because of the math around what your probabilities become getting a really good one. And then I compare that to the probabilities and the opportunities that are around you right now, such as Chaos Legion packs, such as cheap cards on the marketplace, such as amazingly cheap SPS that we know is going to have built-in utility and, staking rewards and rank battle rewards and so forth. So there's just so many great options, and I love land and I'm super bullish on it. But like you, Jim, it's like, let's kind of see where that goes before I go further. And really, I'm only deeply in land because I was there when it was $15. I stretched myself and I spent $1,500 to get 100 plots. And of course, now it looks like, why didn't I do more? But in the moment, you don't really know that. And the same is true for all of us right now with Chaos Legion. We're thinking $4 a pack, like it's reasonable, but I want to buy, you probably want hundreds of packs, but part of your brain is like, that's crazy. I can't spend hundreds of dollars on a video game. But I'm so confident, me personally, maybe you aren't, and that's fine, that they're going to be $40 a pack one day. That it's like, to me, it's like Splinterlands has literally built a pile of money, and all you have to do is go over and say, may I please have some of that money? And you just take as much as you'd like and walk away. And that's the business model, because that's how they've created these assets, and they're giving them for $4, but it's so obvious that that's not enough. There's not enough packs, and especially Rift Watchers for $5 a pack for 3 million packs. Oh my goodness, Rift Watchers. Like I need to already start preparing for Rift Watchers, and you guys should too, because all of the criticism that people have had around Chaos Legion has been that there were it's really around, there's too many packs, it's going to last a long time, it's like, who cares, you don't need to rush. That none of that argument or thought process should be around Rift Watchers with 3 million packs. So man, this is exciting. There's really cool things coming. This game's only growing more, and there's huge opportunities everywhere you look. And guys, if you're investing in time and attention wisely, I know for a fact that you're going to be among the people like me that in 3 or 4 years, you're going to just be astonished by what you've done with a video game. And it really is potentially life-changing. But it's about investing the time and attention and understanding the deferred benefits that you're accruing, because you're getting these trivial rewards. They seem useless. They seem really inexpensive and not meaningful. but don't think about it like what's the price today. Just, keep stacking them, come in here and post on on Splinter Talk and get a few SPT here and there, and you're like, oh, that's not even worth a penny per SPT, who cares? You're gonna care in the future when this, like, 9,000 SPT is crazy. Somebody give me a massive upvote on that one. You're not going to get that kind of upvote. But even if you get 5 or 10, even if you post in TNA, the Discord, and your Splinter Talk posts, and I come in and I'll upvote them for 24, 25 SPT, all of this adds up, guys. Take this seriously now and start grinding and intentionally investing your time in a way that will reward you over a long enough time horizon.